Hey, it's a new day and welcome back to my channel. I was just upstairs getting ready. We're doing our maternity photo shoot this evening and I was all ready to go and I'm like, I should sit down and film a video. I have a really fun video idea I've been wanting to shoot for a while, but can we just take a look at my pictures we took last year this time? Oh, look how little they are. I can't believe this is only a year ago. Wow. Oh, so sweet. Anyway, we are gonna be doing maternity pictures tonight and then newborn pictures hopefully in November when the baby's here, and we'll do those in our home. So anyway, I was like, I'm ready to go. I look semi-okay. This is about as glammed up as I do. So yeah, I was like, I'm going to film for you guys. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Megan Fox and I'm here today with an exciting video that I didn't know if I was actually gonna film, but I decided why not? I may never get the chance to again, and I know some of you are out there pregnant as well looking for baby name suggestions. Baby names are just fun. I could talk about them all the time even when I'm not pregnant. But they're not fun for me, for my own kid necessarily. Like I'd much rather pick out the names for your own kids than for mine. I just feel like it's so hard, but we'll get into that in just a second. My drink of choice for today is it's this apple and mint infused water. It is so good. It just tastes really fresh and kind of a nod to fall with the apple. Try it, it's really good. Anyway, this video is titled Baby Names I Love and Might Be Using, because we don't actually name our babies until they're actually here, they've arrived. I will leave off my top two, but number 3, 4, 5 could be the one we end up picking. I don't know, so don't hold me to anything. I might mention a name in here that you end up hearing later, you never know. But currently, if you're new to my channel, I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son and a baby on the way here in about another month. But boy names are so hard, and I plan to do boy and girl names just because I know there's a lot of you out there looking for baby name suggestions as well. Baby names are just fun. I could talk about them all the time, even when I'm not pregnant. Okay, for us, baby names have to meet 2 criteria. One of them is it has to be uncommon, and this stems from me being a school teacher for 6+ years, and I have taught so many classes of kids where there was multiples of the same name because names just kind of go through trends. I don't want a name that specifically feels 2021-ish, if you know what I mean. Actually, speaking of kids' names that kept coming up again and again, there was actually one art class that I taught. They were 2nd graders, I believe, and their names were Haley, Bailey, Kaylee, Kaylee, Callie, and Kelly. I felt so bad for their moms. I'm like, oh, they all thought they picked out a perfect little girl's name, and then they go to school together, and 6 of them have about the same name. Anyway, I don't want that for my kids. Not like you can ever predict that for sure, but we can try. And then the second criteria is that it has to go with the last name Fox, which is a lot harder than it sounds because there's so many names I love that just don't go with Fox. Word names, you gotta be careful with those paired with Fox, and you also have to be careful with like too much harsh sounds because Fox has an F and an X in it, so it's very strong. And the other thing is Fox is now a first name. Like lots of people are naming their, well not lots, but it's a name out there that people are naming their child for their first name. Anyway, those are kind of the 2 things that I try to look out for. And stay tuned until the end if you want to find out. I've been getting a lot of questions how I picked out my current kids' names. Evonnie Sage and Fletcher Vaughn, and I'll talk about that at the end, so if you're interested. I know there's a lot of you on here if you don't really care about me per se, you just want to hear the baby name suggestions. So let's get into it. So the first name I really love, but for sure will not be using, is the name Ledger, because I already have a Fletcher. That's just too similar. But I think that name is really cute for a boy. It sounds strong, and I love ER names. Another name that I love that I will not be getting to use is Josephina. I have a friend who has a daughter with that for her middle name, and another friend who has it for her first name. Well, Josephine, it's kind of similar. I just love that name, but yep, it's taken. Plus we're having a boy this time. Another name that I really love and may use someday is Stella. Stella is such, I love Estelle and Stella. They both mean star, I think, and they just are so like old Hollywood and very like, I don't know, there's not a lot of them out there, I feel, and I feel like they're really pretty names. Another name that I love a lot, but probably will never get to use because of my dear husband, is the name Renly. For a girl, I love like Ren or Renly. I don't know, I think it's so pretty, but Josh does not like it. The name Avon, I almost named Fletcher Avon. He was gonna be Archer, and then his name got taken like last minute. There was another Archer Fox that was born. So we changed it to Fletcher, which was always on our list too. I just didn't know if I wanted an FF name, like Fletcher Fox. Now I love it. I think it's so cute. But yeah, so we were like panicking and trying to come up with a name last minute, and we were thinking about the name Avon. We never did use it then. But I think that's a really like pretty but yet masculine name. I don't know, I really like it. I'm just like, by the way, my name list is like pages and pages long. Like my sisters think I'm nuts. But I just break down any name that I like, any part of it. Another name I really like is Henderson. Call him Sonny. I don't think we'll use it ever just because of the hen and the fox. It's just, I'm overthinking it. I know. I'm the queen of overthinking. Another name that my husband loves, but we probably will never be using because I say no, is Dakota, because I don't think Dakota Fox goes good together at all. But I love the nickname Dax. I think that would be really cute if any of you don't have the last name Fox. Dax would be such a cute nickname, I feel. So use it. And along that same line is the name Hendrix. Hendrix Fox is too much, you know what I mean? But then you could call him Ricky, which I think is so adorable. Another girl's name I love is Selena. I just think it's so pretty. It's kind of common, I know. Also, I love the name Adele. Probably will never, well, I might use it. You never know. Raleigh, I think is really cute. I don't know if that would be a boy or a girl. We do name our dogs after places. We've had a Phoenix and we now have a Rio. Another name I love is Melania. It sounds very grown up. I don't know how it would sound on a little baby, but I mean, there's lots of nicknames you could do with that, like Millie or whatever. Halston or Halston, however you want to say that. I like that name as well. Blair, I just think it's fun to say Blair. It's just a pretty name for a girl. Winslow and Winslet, I love those names. Probably specifically Winslow, I think is a really cute girl's name. By the way, if there's any name that could sway girl, I always go with the girl. Like Lennox, I love the name Lennox, can't have it with Fox. I'm hoping my cousin uses it because I can't have a Lennox Fox, but I would love to have a little girl and name her Lennox, and then her nickname could be Lenny. How cute! But my dad works with a Lenny who is like a 60-year-old man, so he would not be impressed if his granddaughter was called Lenny, I don't think. Another name I love is Esme. Another boy's name I love is Callan or Callum. Yeah, sorry if I'm not giving lots of explanations. I just love what I love sometimes, you know? Ronwin and Bronwyn, I like those too. I would use them for girls. I like the name Finley. My cousin has a Finley for a boy. I would have used it for a girl. One reason it never went high on the list was because I did not want an FF name. And for this third baby, I would love to stay away from E names or F names, like give the kid its own letter. So we'll see if that happens. Rowan, I think is so cute, but I just can't get past the image of Rowan Fox, like a fox who's in, the, you know, he's Rowan. By the way, if you hear a voice, it's my husband downstairs. He's home. Another name I love so much, it would be at the top of my list, except for my husband, is the name Margot for a girl. I think that's so cute. Margie, oh, I don't know, I love it. It's like old school again, kind of like Stella or Estelle. I love that. Marlo, I don't know if I've said that one, for a girl as well. My cousin has a Milo, so, and he's a boy, so that's kind of too much the same. Bellamy, I think it's just fun to say that. Bellamy Fox. I don't know if I'd ever actually use it or not. I really like it. Gia, I think is really pretty. Just simple G-I-A, Gia, so pretty. And just, yeah, short. Lennon is another, that kind of sounds like Lennox. Lennon, I like that one too. I don't know if it's too rock and rollish though. Oh, I love the name Rhodes. We may use it yet for a middle name, I don't know. So if you see it, don't be surprised. Rhodes, I think is so, I just like that name, Rhodes. My brother's middle name is Lane, so why not Rhodes, you know? Sienna or Sienna, we almost named Evonnie Sienna. We're like, okay, if she comes out and she has red hair, then we'll name her Sienna because it means red. And she came out bald and then sprouted red hair a couple weeks later, so I guess, yeah, we could have went with Sienna for sure. Another name I love so much is Palmer. I would use this for a boy. This name has literally been on the top of our list this whole, like the whole last really long time, but it's rising and rising for girls. Now I never hear a Palmer, like I don't know a Palmer out there or anything, but I'm just so afraid, like, I just don't want a boy to go to school and then he has a girl in his class named Palmer and he's Palmer as well. But Josh is into golf too and there's like Arnold Palmer. I just love that name so much. Another name I love for girls is Larza. Josh hates it, so that's fine. I just think it's fun to say. Mariceli, isn't that fun to say? I don't think I'd ever actually name a kid that. Mariceli is just like really pretty sounding. I think it might be like Spanish derived. And another name that is so fun to say that was like at the top of my list for a long time, but Josh would never stand for it, was Penelope. I just thought, I love musical sounding names if you can't tell. Farrah, I love the name Farrah, like Farrah Fawcett, but Farrah Fox. Josh hates it, so sorry to all the Pharaohs out there. Harlow, I would do for a girl, I think. McKenna. I also love all the president names for girls. Like, picture a little family of girls, and you have like a Quincy, a McKinley, a Kennedy, and a Reagan. I just think all those names are so cute for a girl. Presidential type of names, but do it for a girl. I love last names as first names too, which might be a hint. You will see. Like I said, I can talk pretty freely because I still don't know what we're naming our son. I don't know. Chaplain, I thought would be so cute. Josh isn't as in love with it, but that's on like my top 5. Chaplain, I don't know. I just think that's cute. Halliday, the last name as a first name. Patterson, last name as first name. Odin, I think that sounds really nice. Bowden, or Bowen, I know it's kind of trendy. I feel like that might be a name that feels 2021-ish. Bowen. I like the name Merrick, but not necessarily for me, I don't think. Crosley, I think is such a cute name. I love the zzz sound, Crosley, I don't know. Iverson was on my list for a while. Call him Ives, or Sonny, again, I love the nickname Sonny. Although I don't want a grown man for his actual name to be Sonny, like people call him that. Like, I think it's cute for a mom to call her little boy Sonny, but I can't imagine him picking up the phone and saying, hello, this is Sonny with blah, 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 like whatever business he's for. You know, it doesn't sound grown up enough, I don't think. Another name that I found off the list of some of the soldiers that passed away over in Afghanistan, Maxton. I really like that name. We had a dog named Max growing up though, so I don't know, I like it. Josh actually likes it too, Maxton. McAllister, another last name as a first name, and I like the name Penn. I may use it for a middle name for a boy, P-E-N-N. Penn. Okay, that was a lot of boy names there in a row. How about Delcy for a girl? I think that's so pretty. Or Sadie, Charlotte, Gretchen. Josh hates Gretchen. He does not like that name at all. I think it's so pretty to say. Gretchen, Greta, Gretchen. No, it's kind of harsh. I get it, but I think it's pretty. Thea, I think is such a pretty name. Another name that if I really wanted to have a little Lenny for a girl, I think Lenora would be so cute. Josie, I love that name. I think I said Josephina earlier. Josie, I think, is the cutest. Oh my word, you can have a Josephina and call her Josie. So cute. Pryor, have you ever heard that name? Kind of like Briar, but Pryor. I think I'd do that for a girl. Pryor Fox. I don't know, it's a little out there, I get it. Vienna, I love that one. Somebody needs to use it. It's a little more common. I think it's rising a little bit. Helena, Josh doesn't like it. Devian and Harlan, Kavian. There's just some names that I kind of like the sound of. I don't think I would ever actually name my kids that. Romy for a girl, R-H-O-M-I. How about Sullivan? I love any name with a V in it, I feel like. Sullivan would be really cute, but it's kind of common too. And I don't know what nickname you'd go with, like Sully, which I do not like. Zuri for a girl. That is pretty. Z-U-R-I, Zuri. And Delaney, I think Delaney would be a cute name too. Wow, am I giving you guys name ideas at all? Or you're all like, gag, she has a horrible taste. I know they're a little bit all over the map, but I like uncommon names. I don't know, like if I had to have a Bible name, I would probably do like Jeremiah, because that's Josh's grandpa's name, or like Magdalena. It's like something crazy like that. I'm not into Bible names really too much. But yeah, it's one thing to say you like a name, like if your friend has a baby and it's like, oh my word, I like that. But maybe not for yourself. You know what I mean? When you're naming your own little baby, it has to just hit different, you know what I mean? How about Katon or Layton? I taught a Layton though, so that's off the list. If I taught them, I just can't get them out of my head, and so therefore I feel like I know them and I can't use the name. Callan, I think I said that one already. Yeah, I'm just repeating names now. I have a whole bunch more in here I could tell you, but like I said, yeah, I will be just as surprised as you once the baby comes out and we have it named. I do have a name I love. I'll give you guys one hint. I'll give you one hint. If we go with the boy's name that's at the top of our list currently, those of you with Amish and Mennonite background, well, Amish background particularly, are probably not gonna like it, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Do with that what you wish. You can leave your guesses down below. I don't know, I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna leave the cat out of the bag, but like I said, we don't know that that's the name for sure. It's just the one at the top of the list right now. We're happy with it, but we have to see if it hits just right. Anyway, if you wanna know how we came up with our baby names, Evonnie Sage, she was born first, and we found out with both of our kids what gender they were, so we kind of just tossed around lots of name ideas casually until we actually figured out the gender. But for Evonnie, I love the name Imani. I found it somewhere. I think I found it when I was looking, like when I looked up the meaning of Melania, like Melania Trump. I just love the sound of Melania, but I didn't want like that name because it's associated with a certain person. And so I found on one of the lists, it was Evonnie, I-M-A-N-I, but it didn't quite hit right. And so I started like just playing around with that name in my head, and I kind of came up, at the same time, I love the name Eve so much. They're roofing over there if you hear lots of banging. It's just a noisy day today. Anyway, I love the name Eve so much, but Josh said, no way, Eve was a bad person in the Bible, which I took great offense to, because I'm like, excuse me, how many Davids are out there? You know, Eve, yes, she sinned, but all the people in the Bible were not perfect. So I like the name Eve, and I like the name Evonnie, and I love any name with a V in it pretty much, and I just came up with the name Evonnie. And I'm like, oh, I love that so much. But I did not want to make up a name. I was like, that's weird. I don't want to do that. So I actually Googled it. And after a lot of research, I actually found it on a list. And it was actually a name that was used very uncommonly during the Titanic era in like the early 1900s. And I was so thrilled. Anyway, that's how that was. And then Sage, I just loved the name. It was not common at the time at all. I remember thinking, oh, people might be like, ugh, you know, when they heard Sage, because I think flower names were just coming in 4 years ago, or maybe it was like the Willow and like all those names were starting to come in, but Sage, I hadn't known any Sages. Now they're super common. I'm so glad it's her middle name and not her first name, but I still love it so much. If it wasn't so common, I would actually probably use it for a first name if I hadn't used it for a middle name. Yeah, that's how we came up with Evonnie, Sage. And then for Fletcher, he was gonna be Archer, like I said, the whole way through, which Fletcher was always on the list, but it was always like second on the list because I didn't want a Fletcher Fox. I didn't want an FF name. Anyway, and so Archer was like, we were solidified, like that was the only baby name we had picked out probably before we had any kids. Like we had no girl's name at all, and we had one boy's name, Archer. Well, two boys' names, Archer and Fletcher, but Archer it was gonna be. And that I think I found on it was super, super uncommon at the time. Like my mom was like, if I would've told my mom that name, she would've been like, what? I've never heard that in my life. But I heard it on Melissa and Joey. It's like a TV sitcom. And his name was Archer, and I just loved it so much. So that's how that was on the list. And then Fletcher was, Josh is an Eagles fan, and the one player is Fletcher Cox. Now we have a Fletcher Fox, but I was like, whatever. That's another reason I was trying to stay away from Fletcher. I love the name, like just by itself, but the fact that there was a semi-famous person with almost the same name, I just didn't know. Anyway, so when the name got taken by another, like there was another little Archer Fox born like 2 weeks before ours, I was like, oh, they're probably gonna end up going to school together or playing basketball against each other or going to the same church someday or who knows what. And it just bothered me, it kind of bugged me, like there's gonna be two of them right that exact same age. So same first name, same last name, everything. So we're like, you know what? We don't feel good about it anymore. Let's do Fletcher. And guess what? Like a month later, was it? Meghan Markle had her Archie and the name blew up all over the place. Yeah, it was super common. And so to this day, I think I'm very glad we stuck with Fletcher. I still love the name Archer to death. I could still use it someday possibly, but yeah, probably won't. And then for Vaughn is kind of special to me. I don't really do namesakes that much, but Josh's dad's name is Vernon. And then Josh's middle name is Joshua Vern Fox. They just like shortened Vernon to Vern. And then for Fletcher, I took Vern and twisted it to Vaughn. Whatever. It's a little namesake to me. Maybe nobody else thinks of it that way, but I always knew if I had a little boy, his middle name was gonna be Vaughn, and there we go, Fletcher Vaughn Fox. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Leave down below any more name suggestions you have, particularly for a boy. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.